So mindfulness, it's the awareness that arises when we pay attention in a particular way. So that's on purpose, in the present moment, without judgment. So on purpose, and when we say paying attention, it's not like we're doing a crossword puzzle.
Welcome to For the Health of It, Because You Can, where host Susan Robinson dives into the 8 categories of wellness with experts from various fields. We offer tips and information to help you thrive in all areas of individual wellness.
I met Joe Holcomb at a seminar that I went to, a training that was sponsored by Integris Health. Learned a lot about him, and now he is actually a state employee. He is with the OMA, or Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority. And so, Joe, tell me what your experience is, what you're doing there now. What's your role?
Well, hi, Susie. It's great to see you again and be with you. I am the manager of Employee Wellness and Development Programs at OMA. I started about 11 months ago now, and we are rolling out different opportunities, instructional opportunities, as well as experiential opportunities to the employees around mindfulness, meditation, breath work. And we have just finished our first pilot for our mentorship program.
What's your mentorship program about?
So we have the executive leadership team that are serving as mentors, and then we have people that have applied to be mentees. And it's a 6-month program. We just finished our first pilot. So we had 7 or 8 mentees with 8 mentors, and they met twice a month, and then I worked with them as a coactive trained coach.
Okay. And so you were telling me a little bit about some pop-ups. What are you talking about with the pop-ups?
Right. So we, each week we will teach a class around mindfulness or contemplative practice, breath work or sound. And we teach this instructionally, and then we infuse these classes with experiences, mindfulness experiences. And so we want to let people know the benefit of mindfulness, the benefit of meditation, and help them cultivate that. So we give them the opportunity to come together twice a week for 15 minutes and just practice with us.
Oh.
And so we'll do breath awareness. We will do maybe a body scan. Sometimes we will do affirmations. So just gives them a chance to practice what they're learning in the class.
So I know the terms mindfulness and meditation. A lot of people, there's misconceptions about meditation. So tell me about how meditation is related to mindfulness.
I love that question. Thank you. So mindfulness, it's the awareness that arises when we pay attention in a particular way. So that's on purpose, in the present moment, without judgment. So on purpose, and when we say paying attention, it's not like we're doing a crossword puzzle. It's just like you and I sitting across having a conversation, just gentle attention, but it's on purpose, in the present moment, not what we've done before we got here today or what we're going to do this evening in each one of our lives. So it's in the present moment and without judgment. And so, when we look at mindfulness and meditation, we're really using attention as a currency and really focusing on something. But the brain has a job to do, and that's to make lists and solve problems. So when we're doing mindfulness practice, like meditation, we don't want to beat ourselves up if the brain is really active. So we want to do this without judgment. So mindfulness is paying attention in a particular way. And meditation is actually a tool that can help us cultivate mindfulness.
Oh. And that explains a lot to me on that.
So it is it's a tool, and it is ancient and modern day techniques that can help us kind of smooth out the nervous system, calm the nervous system, help us with focus and attention. So I like to explain that as a tool. to help cultivate mindfulness.
Right. So I know there's a lot of misconceptions about meditation. Can you kind of tell me what that's about? Address those misconceptions, basically.
Sure. One of them is that I'm going to have to work really hard to meditate. And like I said earlier, we're not doing a crossword puzzle. It's just this gentle attention. And the other one is that we have to sit in a particular way. With your legs crossed and your hands, in a mudra, resting on your knees. And you can do meditation just sitting comfortably in a chair or even standing up. Another one misconception is that it's going to make me less competitive.
Really?
Yeah, so that someone's afraid of when they're going to lose their competitive edge. In fact, a lot of professional athletes work with meditation teachers because it helps hone that ability to really focus and hone that attention. Right. Another one is that it's about mystic visions and revelations, just kind of really something esoteric, or that someone's going to have to change their religion. This is the way we teach it. This really is not related to religion or any particular faith, but you can practice it religiously on a daily basis.
So I know that that is kind of a sticking point for some people, very religious people, but you're going to explain the science behind it,
right?
What it does for the body, because I'm all about science and religion, and so one of the things is about the brain. It involves the brain. So explain neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity is the ability for the brain to change and grow through reorganization. It's the ability of the brain to adapt. And so, I think sometimes about someone that maybe has had a stroke. So my mother's had a stroke. And we went to the neurologist, and the neurologist said, you have 6 months for that brain. This is going to be very vital. 6 months to really try to regain everything that you may have lost. And you need to be doing exercise. You need to be doing crossword puzzles. You need to be doing meditation, that type of thing, because the brain has the ability to reorganize itself. And as my meditation teacher says, the neurons that fire together wire together. I love that. Yeah.
Like that a lot.
And also about the brain, what research has shown is that meditation really impacts a lot of the structures of the brain. One part of the brain, the amygdala, that part of the brain that says we're in danger, we need to flee, we need to fight. It serves a great purpose for us, but we don't want to live like that. And so through meditation and practicing mindfulness, we know that amygdala begins to shrink over time if we're practicing, have a regular mindfulness or meditative practice. The amygdala tells the adrenal glands to release cortisol, and that floods the body with inflammation so that we can really take off and flee a dangerous situation. But we don't want to live in that state all the time. The other part of the brain that it impacts is the hippocampus, that part of the brain that is responsible for emotional regulation and memory. That part of the brain actually begins to increase and the gray matter becomes more dense. The hippocampus, that part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex that's responsible for executive functioning. And then one of my favorite parts, that's the insula, the folds of the brain. That's where empathy resides. In the folds of the brain is where empathy resides. And what we know in looking at functional MRIs is that we can change the structure of the brain by practicing meditation every day for 10 minutes a day, 7 days a week, 8 weeks. That's when the brain begins to change.
Doesn't have to be all at once, 10 minutes.
Great question. It doesn't. You can do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon. You can do 5 and 5, just whatever feels good or fits your schedule. The best time to meditate is first thing in the morning and between 4 and 6 in the afternoon.
Really? Okay. Well, So what's some of the benefits of this practice? I know you've talked to me about it before, mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. What do we get out of that? What does that benefit that part of us?
Yeah, lots of benefits. When we look at the mental piece, enhances creative thinking, reduces mental reactivity and distraction. I think we may be talking about later about the power of attention, but just this reactivity and distraction that we get involved with lots of different things going on kind of reduces that. It can reduce the symptoms of ADHD and ADD. Doesn't cure it, but reduces the symptoms and increases mental clarity and memory. From a physical standpoint, it reduces the levels of stress hormones, this cortisol that's being flooded in the body, increases DHEA, the youth hormone, optimizes the immune system, improves digestion. We're going to be teaching a mindful eating class possibly in the future. But improves eating habits and digestion. And then some of the most recent research is showing that it makes the blood less sticky. Lots of research going on in that area. Okay. Spiritually, it kind of, gives one a clearer sense of purpose and fulfillment, increases peace and joy. And as my meditation teacher says, I've been meditating for 30 years. I may not be an expert, but I know myself really well. It's that spiritual part of herself, this being connected with life. And then lastly, emotionally, renews enthusiasm, heightens social awareness and empathy, and increases self-awareness and self-compassion.
That's good things that we don't think about.
Right.
How, because again, just the misconceptions about what it is and what it does, and people 24/7 on the go now getting time to stop and do that. They have no idea how beneficial it is.
And just 10, 11 minutes a day.
Yeah. Unbelievable. So you guys, I'm talking with Joel Holcomb with OMMA, and we're going to now kind of go in a different direction about what's the ingredients, the essential ingredients to meditation. What do we need there?
So we have 5 essentials and 3 ingredients. And, one of the things that I hear a lot of is people say, I can't meditate because I can't get out of my head. I'm thinking too much. So the first essential of any meditation or mindfulness practice is thoughts are okay. Thoughts are okay. And if you know that you're having a thought, that means you're doing it right. So thoughts are okay. We don't need to beat ourselves up about that. We need to be, it's nice to be kind with yourself. You don't want to try too hard. We're not doing a crossword puzzle. Let go of expectations is the number 4 of the 5 essentials, and then to stick with it. So if you're going to do a meditation or mindfulness practice, stick with it for that entire time that you set aside. Set your alarm on your phone, but just to buzz, not to go off really, really loud, or maybe just to vibrate, to pull you out gently, but to stick with it for that whole time. And as some people say, short of the building burning down, let's stick with the meditation, because sticking with it really is where we get a lot of benefits. I'm going to go back real quick to it's okay to have thoughts during meditation. We talked about the brain. So every time that we have a thought, you want to come back to the focus of that meditation. And every time you come back, it's like doing a gentle bicep curl for the brain. You just come back time and time again. Oh, there's a thought. And I'm coming back. And I'm coming back.
Great way to look at it.
Yeah, so if you're having the thought and you know it, that means you're doing it right. And then there's 3 ingredients. One is a willingness or a resolve. The second one is your attention. And the third one is a focus. Lots of different types of meditations. Most meditations will have a focus, such as your breath, such as feeling sensations in the body, or maybe an affirmation or a word. There's one type of meditation that's called open awareness, where we don't have a focus. We just see these thoughts as they come into the mind. We acknowledge them, we label them, and let them go. but most meditations will have a focus. So the 3 ingredients are your willingness to do the practice, your gentle attention, and a focus.
I'm going to ask, would you mind, can you demonstrate this? Would you mind leading us through a simple meditation?
Sure. How about if we do a breath awareness?
I think that's a great one.
So we're not going to manipulate the breath. What we're just going to do is we're just going to follow it. And we may notice the breath in different parts of the body. So maybe it's the tip of the nose, or maybe it's the rise and fall of the chest or the belly, the expansion of the rib cage. That for some people, they don't really know where to find the breath or to follow it. So I'm going to lead you through this, and I'm going to give you those as kind of as prompts. And if at any time you're having a problem with it, I'm just going to invite you to bring your attention to your right hand, and that can be the focus. Okay? So we begin our breath awareness meditation just by deepening the breath just a few couple of times. That tells the body to get into this rest and digest mode, kicking in the parasympathetic nervous system. And letting your breath return to its natural rhythm and depth. Bring your attention to the tip of your nose. And notice on the inhale the coolness of the air as it enters the body. And how the air has gotten warmer on the exhale. Just keep your attention there for just a few breaths. As the mind begins to wander, simply come back to that sensation that you notice at the tip of your nose. And now bring your awareness to the rise and fall of the chest and the belly with each inhale and exhale. As the mind begins to wander, simply come back to that sensation and awareness of the breath. Now bring your attention to the expansion of the rib cage. Just notice how the ribs move in and out with each breath. If you're having a hard time finding your breath, bring your attention to your right hand. And I'll mind the time. Let's do this for about 30 seconds. Just bring your attention to the breath wherever you feel it most. And keep coming back as many times as you need to the focus of the breath. Knowing you're doing it right, thoughts are okay, coming back as many times as you need to. We want to be kind and gentle with ourselves anytime that we've done any type of mindfulness practice or meditation. Beginning to wiggle the fingers and the toes, bringing some movement into the body. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Very good. That was actually fairly...
Yeah.
And it was not mystical. It was just paying attention.
Just paying attention, yeah. It's currency.
It's currency.
It's currency.
Thank you for listening to For the Health of It. For more wellness tips, information, and videos, visit the Thrive webpage. For questions, contact us at thrive@omes.ok.gov.